Hello, if you want to watch exclusive lemon content on What If Naruto, then go to my Boosty. The first link in the description here contains such hot stories for adults, such as What If Naruto was a daddy for Sarada, or Kushina and Mikoto vulgar Naruto mommies. Follow the link and enjoy. I'm waiting for you.
Naruto was walking towards the Tower of Okage happy as always, with nothing to worry about. He had his friends, his sensei, the others. More, but he cared more about his girlfriend and kills after the war. She confessed her feelings for him and accepted them after all. Sakura was with her best friend Sasuke. That indicated that she would be fine. The important thing was that he was on his way to the tower to drop off his mission report. Once inside, he could see his sister. As he called her. Naruto and Shizune, hello. Shizune. Ah, hi Naruto, how are you? Naruto, I'm fine. I'm here to leave the report to Grandma Tsunade. Shizune, sigh, how many times have you been told not to say that to Tsunade-sama? Naruto, hey, you said something, Shizune, huh? Shizune grew a little vain because she couldn't believe that the blonde guy with the attitude of a child was the hero of the war, along with his friend the emo. Shizune just happens, Naruto-kun. Naruto just laughed and entered. As it was day to day, he moved to the side as a serving bottle passed by his side. Naruto, grandma, stop drinking and start doing the paperwork. Tsunade, don't call me grandma, blonde idiot. Naruto just gave a sigh and went to Tsunade. Naruto was red-faced, as the only way to make Tsunade stop drinking was for Naruto to get behind Tsunade and talk down her neck, making her blush and moan, Naruto, Tsunade-chan. Stop taking Tsunade to not fall. On that, Naruto again, let's go. Tsunade-chan. Do it for me. For your favorite blonde. Tsunade didn't resist and dropped the bottle. Attracted Naruto and started kissing him without him putting up resistance, since this was something normal lately. After a while, after Tsunade kissed Naruto, she fell asleep. Measure into that. Shizune enters, and when she sees them, she gives a sigh. Shizune, sigh, I'll pass again. Naruto, yes, it happened again. Shizune, don't you think it's wrong for her to do this? Naruto, well, I don't know, tell me, is there another way to make me stop drinking? Shizune only shook her head somewhat nervously that someone would find them. Naruto, well, I'm leaving now. Tell grandma that there were only 10 ninjas of which 5 are alive, they are now with Anko. Shizune, don't worry, I'll tell him now, go get some rest. Naruto, I'll take care of Shizune-chan, we'll see each other soon. Naruto walked up to Shizune and gave her a kiss on the lips, and just like that he disappeared. Shizune, you perverted bastard. Naruto, who was outside the tower, was only laughing as he managed to hear Shizune scream. Naruto, ha ha ha, that was a good move. Suddenly, Naruto hears a voice in his head. Knowing who it was, he just kept walking. Kurama, wow Naruto, you did it. Naruto, hehe, I think I did overdo it this time. Kurama, I think it's okay. Naruto, ha ha ha, and you, how are you going, friend? Kurama, recovering from your stupid battle. Naruto, oh come on, it wasn't stupid. I could see B's old man after time, and I wanted to measure my strength. Kurama, but you would have only grabbed my chakra because to make it come out when I was sleeping. Naruto was more exciting that way. Kurama, the fight was boring, but look, it was a surprise that you beat B. Naruto's old man. You see that if you beat him, I'm the best. Kurama, yes, if you don't be selfish for beating that old man. Naruto, anyway, get some sleep, buddy. So Naruto cut the link with his furry friend. Naruto could see his friends walking like that. A place he wanted to scare them, so he hid. I waited for a while until they came out. When they came out, he was finally about to jump when he saw something that surprised and made him very angry. What he saw was Hinata with Kiba holding hands kissing, but what made him the most bitter was seeing his friends doing nothing. Naruto was about to burst, but I hear Kurama. Kurama, Naruto, wait, take a good look at Ino, Ten, Rogel, Chuji and Shino. Naruto listened to him and was surprised because they were looking at each other with sad faces. Naruto, that means that Kurama exactly were threatened with death by the Uchiha. Or the Nara, although I suspect the Fleabag, just listen to their conversation and don't do anything stupid. Naruto took notice again and began to listen to their conversation. Kiva, you look beautiful today, and Nada-chan, and Nada, thank you Kiva-kun. Sasuke. Don't show too much affection, lovebirds. Remember that Hinata is Naruto's girlfriend, Kiva haha of that, and idiot, I could beat him if I wanted. Sasuke. Ha ha ha, you can't against Chino. You are going to be able to with Naruto, who is at my level, and Nada, but no one knows. Maybe Kiba-kun will beat that idiot Shikamaru. Haha, even if I wanted to watch, Naruto would beat him with his eyes closed and in seconds to Kiba and Nada. I can't stand how my dad tells me to tell that idiot to stop. Let's get married, Kiba, do it, and so on when the idiot is Okage and is in the Okage tower all the time. You and I will be having fun on the bed, Sakura. If you want, we can accompany Sasuke. This may be wrong, but I would never lie on the bed at my friend Kiba's house. Haha, your friend stopped being your friend when you agreed to hide my relationship with Hinata and not to say anything to Naruto. Shikamaru. I'm hungry, let's get something to eat, right? And I'm not sorry, I have to go to the flower shop. See you tomorrow, Rogel. At this time, I have training with Gazens and goodbye. 10. I have to go tend to the gun store. Goodbye, Chuji, my father. He told me that he was going to teach me new clan techniques. Bye, Shino. I have to go with my dad to see if there are any new insects. So everyone started walking, but they heard Kiva's voice. Don't even think about telling that blonde idiot, otherwise you know what will happen to your lives. The boys accelerated their pace until they got lost among the people. Kiva, well, let's eat, I'm really hungry, and cream, if we're going to eat I know of a very good place. So the others left, ignoring the danger that was approaching them. Naruto was just crying silently until he heard his friend Kurama's voice. He knew, you still have friends who are loyal. Naruto and Nada never love me and Sasuke. Him. Kurama, those idiots don't matter. From now on you will be a new person. Naruto? How is that for a new person? Kurama, to get away from everything for a moment, you will have to be in Ambu, it will be easy to get in. Naruto is fine, Kurama. I'll go into Ambu. Kurama was a little nervous as Naruto's eyes changed to blood red. Kurama took a deep breath, as the words he was about to say would change the course of history. Kurama, from now on, you Naruto Uzumaki will be my only companion. Naruto and Kurama-sensei. So Naruto went home to rest because tomorrow his life was about to change. It was already daylight in the hidden village of La Jolla, the civilians somewhere at their posts. Others were leaving their houses like a normal morning, but what matters here is a very nice house. There was a person there, maybe one of the most important in the ninja world. The boy got out of bed and went straight to the shower. He stayed there for a moment so that the water would relax his muscles after finishing his bath. He changed and went to his living room where he prepared something to eat. He went out towards the tower. Sometimes in the course, he was talking to his faithful friend and now new sensei. Naruto Kurama-sensei, and tell me what we are going to do. When Kurama heard Naruto, he was a little scared because he didn't show any emotions even on his face. Kurama, go to the tower, get you to join Ambu, and I will teach you new techniques of my style, and that of your clan. Naruto talks about the Uzumaki clan. I know that they were only teachers taught by my mother. Kurama, you are wrong. Apart from being a master of seals, they were monsters with their sword style, plus their great chakra reserve. And believe me when I tell you that they were monsters. Naruto, if you told me about it being sealed twice on people from the Uzumaki clan. Although I actually only know that it was sealed on my mother. Kurama, you're right, but I was also sealed in Uzumaki myth. She was the first one to be my Hinchiriki. Naruto, but no one knew about it. Kurama, when the Uzumakis found out that the stupid Esirama was marrying off my brothers, and that myth sealed them. She was not exiled from the clan, they just turned their backs on her, and no longer allowed entry to Yuzu. Naruto, but as still the vests have the Uzumaki symbol. Kurama, after a long time, an agreement was reached between Konoha and Yuzu. Naruto, after being talking to Kurama for a while longer, arrived at the tower where he was greeted by Shizune. Naruto passed by and it was up to Tsunade, who saw a totally different Naruto than before. Naruto, without thinking, said, "It Naruto. Tsunade-sama, I want to join Ambu." Tsunade hopes that, and that's because Naruto gave a sigh and told her everything he saw and heard, making Tsunade angry and accept. Tsunade, it's okay Naruto, tell me what will be your mask. Naruto saw many masks and chose one that was not on the table but was in a box. Naruto, give me the one in that box. Tsunade, I'm sorry, no one can have that mask. Naruto, and why can't anyone have her? Tsunade, is Kitsune Zoro's mask, that's the reason, and also honor to your father. I don't care about Naruto, just give it to me. Tsunade. It's okay, take it and take care of yourself from now on, you'll be Kitsune. When Naruto put on the mask, his beautiful blue eyes changed to blood red and a killer instinct that scared Tsunade a lot. Tsunade, ow. Now go. And introduce yourself to Commander Ambu. Naruto took the blade Tsunade gave him and left the place, leaving a worried Tsunade. Naruto was walking down such a dark hallway, only dim light could be seen. He is dressed in his new Ambu suit, with a sword strapped on his back. His red Kitsune mask stood out with his ripped red eyes, plus that instinct. It was very scary. For a while now he was walking around these halls looking for a place where his equipment was located. When Naruto was told that he was going to have a captain, he got angry and he made it clear that he was not going to take orders from anyone. He was informed that his team was Kozadors. This made him smile since he didn't want to be a child. It was taking care of both idiots. Once he found the place, he could see 3 people, but especially one of them became known to him since he remembered their names, Neko. Humor, Evi, Kitsune, get ready, we have to go on a mission. Neko, there's Kitsune senpai, but we shouldn't introduce ourselves first. Kitsune. Neko, Kumar, Evi. I'm Kitsune captain now if walking. Kitsune left the place, leaving them alone, and somewhat surprised by their behavior. Neko they think he'll be fine. Kumar is definitely sleepy. Evi if that sure is sleepy. Neko is waiting for us anyway. They arrived with their captain, who without saying anything started jumping through the trees, and so began his mission. When they finished the mission, Kumar and Vi ended up vomiting a little, and Neko, because she was being carried by Kumar. Neko fainted from the blood and bodies that her captain had killed without emotion. Kitsune went to give the report to Tsunade, who was looking worried at Naruto. This one just turned around and went home. It was night, so she decided to go to her favorite place with her ambo clothes. It was a beautiful night that was illuminated by thousands of stars, and on a small hill, a person of about 19 years of age could be seen feeling. Looking at a villa full of lights and life, you could feel the happiness running through the streets of Konoha. He was a blonde with 3 marks on his cheeks. At that moment, Naruto knew that he was being watched by his team. That was the reason why he did not take off his ambu suit. Naruto lay down completely, causing his red eyes to change to the normal blue ones. He was hesitating to take off his mask until he heard a voice. Kurama, no boy, don't take her away, it's not time yet for them to know who Kitsune is. Naruto listened to Kurama Dudo, but ended up paying attention to him and just stayed lying on the ground. It was quiet peace until it started raining, and Naruto didn't move from his place, letting him get completely wet. He got up and just left the place without saying a few words first. Kitsune, I'll wait for you tomorrow to train. So he left them surprised and speechless. Neko, wow, he found out about us. Kumar, Kitsune senpai is very cool, isn't it? Evi, Kumar is right, Kitsune senpai is very cool. The 3 of them spent a lot of time talking to each other so they could find out who Kitsune was. Neko, this is harder than I thought. Kumar, I infiltrated to find out who he was, but nothing is as if he didn't exist. Evi, how weird is all this? Neko, if we go to talk to the Okage and tell her an excuse for her not to say who Kitsune is. Kumar, or we will tell him that if he does not tell us the name, the 3 points, we will leave Ambu for a while. The 3 of them jumped, leaving the place only with the rain. It was already daylight in the village of the Leaf. The 3 Ambus yesterday could not find out anything. As Tsunade with a simple no shut them up. After their failed mission to find out who Kitsune was, they actually went home to rest since they had to keep her for training. Naruto was at his house. He had showered and was having breakfast now when he was interrupted because someone was knocking on his door. He was in his day clothes, so no problem. He got up when he opened the door. He was surprised as he could to see Hino, but the strange thing is that she had a small blush, almost noticeable, because in front was a goddess. Naruto, and not that brings you here. And no, nothing, I just wanted to come and say hi, Naruto. Naruto, and do you know something about Hinata? I've been looking for her for the past day to tell you that I'm going on a mission that will last a Sema. Hino couldn't take it anymore and started crying. Naruto knew what the reason was, but he remained silent. He knew that Hino had nothing to do with it, so when he spoke to her it was with his typical smile. Now he had to worry so that he wouldn't get suspicious. Naruto was. And not, why are you crying? Are you okay? And no, they betrayed you, just the 3 of us. We're friends. Naruto, what are you talking about? Take it easy. Naruto took her to his bed and sat her down, went to the kitchen and brought her a glass of water to calm down. After a while he calmed down a bit, so Naruto took the opportunity to ask him. Naruto, what were you talking about, Hino? Hino, I meant that they had already been together 4 days, and Nara only took advantage of you to make her clan more respected. Since his heiress and the hero of the 4th war girl, apart from having 2 well-known parents, she took advantage. I take advantage of you, I was with you, but I was also with Kiba. All the newbies know this. The only ones we didn't want this were Chuji, Ten, La, Shino and me. But they threatened to end our life. Naruto, ha ha ha, don't worry, Hinakin. I will protect you, do not be afraid, you will be watched by a clone each 4. To help them if there are problems with those idiots. Hino, thank you very much, Naruto-kun. Naruto laughed as Hino was a little blushing because of what he had called him, but then she started laughing too, as she had taken a big weight off of herself. Naruto, listen to me, well Hino-chan, I'm an Ambu now, and also Captain Ambu. That's why I'm not around much, but don't worry, my clones will be of help to you. Hino was surprised since his friend was Ambu, and besides he was also captain, now wise, that Naruto would protect her from the shadows. Naruto, promise me you won't tell the others. Hino, don't worry, I won't tell him now with your help. I can stop quietly around the village without fear that those idiots will hurt me. Naruto, it shows, you have very noticeable dark circles. Now I'm leaving, and with my team I have to train, but better stay to sleep so you can recover. Hino, if it's okay, thank you very much for everything you're doing. Naruto, I must thank you for telling me the truth. After a while, one fell asleep, and Naruto went to see his team with a smile under the mask, but this smile was of happiness. Kurama, what a boy, I like that you still have friends who love you. Naruto, if I like that too. Naruto cut the link and went to the Basin-bu where his team looked at him angrily. Neko-senpai is late. Kitsune, oh come on, it was only a few minutes. Evi took an hour to come. Kitsune, okay. Sorry, but now let's start with the training. Kumar, alright, Kitsune-senpai was already boring me. Kitsune first, I want to see a fight between Kumar and Ebi. Kumar, and that would be Kitsune-senpai. Kitsune, I want to see what level they are at. The two Ambus, without refuting anything to their captain, took a few steps, and each one got into Kumar fighting position with a Kumar. And reinforced in chakra, and Ebi with his sword also covered with chakra. Naruto, well. Let's get started. So the two Ambus faced everything that gave after an hour fighting. The Ambuses indicated signs of fatigue. Kitsune, all right, now everyone Sujutsu. Evi inhaled a large amount of air and threw fire. It was her forte to him. Kumar made some stamps, and his pano was on the floor, which started shaking. This caused Evi to lose stability and fall, which was taken advantage of by Kumar, who had a kune on Evi's throat. Evi, I give up, I'm really tired. Kumar, Kitsune-senpai, and let's take to the infirmary. Both of them fell unconscious due to the massive chakra depletion. Kitsune finishes training for today. Neko, take them to the infirmary. I'll go to the Okage office. Take the day off when they wake up. Tell them the same thing. See you tomorrow. Kitsune turned around. She had to tell him a little lie in order to be able to see Ino and make sure he's okay. It was already dark and Naruto arrived at his house. When he entered, he could see it cleaner than normal. Things were arranged without taking any importance. It was up to his bed where he could see her, and with a smile Naruto felt strange when he was with her. Naruto, it will be better not to wake her up properly. I'll go to the couch. Naruto half turned around, but was stopped by a hand. When he saw who it was, he was surprised that it was Hino. Hino, and how did your training go? Naruto, okay, but I think I better go to the couch so you can sleep easy. Hino, your bed is big, so how about sleeping with me? Naruto, are you sure I don't want there to be a misunderstanding where it hurts us? Hino, I don't mind as long as I sleep with someone. Naruto didn't say anything else. He went to turn off the lights and lay down on the bed, not wanting to look at Hino. He was having fun because of how Naruto was getting. Hino, Naruto-kun, I'm really cold, do you think you can hug me? Naruto blushed but didn't say anything, so he hugged her, one of his hands around her waist. They stuck closer. Hino, Naruto-kun, you know, since we were kids I was always attracted to you, but I didn't want demos. Naruto couldn't take it anymore and started kissing her with affection, which was answered by Hino, who took Naruto's head to squeeze his lips more. Naruto, is better to stop. I'm getting warmed up, Hino-chan. Hino, yes. Let's just stop. After they were kissing, they separated. Hino asked a question that made Naruto laugh. Hino, then, after this kiss, we are something. Naruto, ha ha ha, it's not obvious, Hino-chan. The two hugged and fell asleep, not knowing that this would bring very good things for Naruto's life. Naruto had been awakened by a very delicious smell. When he woke up completely, he saw that Hino was not in bed, so he went to the kitchen, and there he saw her with a mantle that even he did not know where he got it from. Naruto walked in silence, and from behind grabbed her waist, and talking in her ear in a sexy way, making her get excited and blushing a little. And not na. Naruto-kun, good morning. Naruto, good morning, and not Chan. Naruto turned her over and started kissing her passionately. He took her carrying up to the sofa where he threw her, and he took the opportunity to start taking her clothes, and not little by little. She was being subjected in lust and pleasure, but she managed to regain her composure. And not na. Naruto-kun-arun. No. This is not the time to do it. Naruto, don't worry, I know it's not time yet, but you're so beautiful that I can't stand it. Naruto stopped before brushing his semi-erect member with Hino's leg, making Hino blush more, and he will get up straight to the kitchen. Kurama, wow boy, you hit the jackpot with that blonde. Naruto, if you're right, well, I have to go to my work. Naruto cut the link and went straight to Hino, where he gave him a loving hug. Naruto, I'm going to take a shower to get to the base. Hino, take good care of yourself, Naruto-kun. Naruto, don't worry in the room, leave money, buy the necessary for dinner. I will leave you 10 clones, some will take care of others, and 2 of you. And it doesn't make me very happy that you take care of me like that, honey. Naruto, I'm not going to let them hurt you, Ino-chan. Naruto went upstairs without giving her another kiss first. After a few moments, she went out in her amber clothes straight to the Okage office. Same the office of the Okage, same. Naruto entered without saying anything, and dodged Akuna, and that he was walking by his right eye. Kitsune. Kitsune reporting in Okage-sama. Tsunade, today is a free day in the village because you are here. Kitsune, even if it's a day off, we Ambus must protect the village. Tsunade, you didn't listen, it's day off, go home. Kitsune, but Oka. He couldn't finish as Tsunade started throwing chakra kunai at him, he was dodging them. Kitsune, I understand. It is. Day off, just stop laser kunai. Kitsune disappeared from the place with some cuts, since she had become distracted by seeing Tsunade's breasts. Kurama, you are a first-class pervert. Naruto just distracted me for a few moments. Kurama, anyway, go see Hino. Naruto disappeared from the place, and when he got home, he saw that it was empty, so he went to the kitchen. And there was a paper in the refrigerator. Apparently Hino had left a somewhat short note. Naruto-kun, I went to buy things for dinner. If you arrive early, look for me, I will be waiting for you. Naruto decided to go out with his ambu clothes as a protector of Hino. He was looking for his chakra. He was able to find it after a while. He found it and went to her. Naruto was on the roof, while he was watching her that nothing happened to her everything. It was fine, but at that the idiots arrived next to Choji, Ten, Rogel, Shino, who were looking elsewhere. Kiva went to Hino, who had some flowers in hand to decorate the house of Naruto, but he was snatched away by Kiba's dog, who threw him to the ground and crushed them. Kiba, hehe, look what we have here if it's the little slut. Shikamaru, don't make such a fuss, Kiba. Kiba, he, whatever, fine, and don't kiss my feet. And she had no tears as she slowly bent down to do as Kiba had ordered. But suddenly a killer instinct caused everyone to fall, some fainting, some with difficulty breathing. Kitsune, what's going on here? Everyone heard the voice of Kitsune, who had become someone feared by the way of killing. Kaibase. It will be me. You better get out of here. From here. Kitsune Ino-sama, who told you to kneel down. Everyone hearing what Kitsune said was shocked, and the idiots were scared, since Kitsune was Hino's angel. And not the one who made me kneel was Kiba. Kitsune, all right, dog, get ready to get your comeuppance for having let her kneel before you, but the worst thing was to make her cry. Everyone saw how Kitsune had his sword in hand, and his eyes changed to blood red, making the idiots tremble. Sasuke 10. You'll have to step over me. Kitsune, ha ha ha, that's too easy. And kills and 2. 4. For me. Kitsune, ha 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 ha, don't make me laugh, you are the blind weakest, even that board would give you fight. Kitsune, well, putting the conversation aside, who wants to be humiliated first? Kiva positioned himself in a fighting pose, but was pierced by the sword of the Ambu effortlessly, although to avoid problems. He gave him a non-vital place all. They were surprised since Lambu didn't care if he was from a clan, then he launched Inata. Inata, I will kill you for hurting my Kibikin. This made Naruto more angry, he grabbed his sword, injected Kurama chakra into it, causing it to be bordered by Naruto's red chakra. He ran up to Inata, who was in his fight pose, and also ran Naruto to avoid the blow of a spin. No matter what happened, he closed his eyes, and with a slash with his sword aimed anywhere. But then he opened his eyes, seeing how Inata was lying on the ground, screaming in pain. Apparently, the Ambu hit him in his eye and left, causing him to lose that part of his sight. Everyone was scared. They were shitting themselves with fear since the Ambu had cut one of Inata's eyes. Now all that was left was the board, and the emotional one who, when he saw this, got serious. Sasuke, go to that room. He doesn't mind at all. It's better to take care of my eyes. Kitsune was calm, until everyone felt a burst of chakra coming from Sakura, who threw herself into the Anbu. When Kitsune was about to jump, he was caught by Shikamaru's shadows. Shikamaru, we got you already. Anbu, you will pay for everything you have done, so just strangle you. He couldn't finish as he saw the Anbu walking. No problem, that action made Shikamaru get a chill down his spine. He turned around so he could avoid the Ambo's kick, but it was too late. The kick landed on one of his arms. Kitsune had her foot covered with chakra, therefore she made Shikamaru's arm break by throwing it to the ground screaming in pain. Now the board was hesitating to go to fight, but plucked up courage. Sakura, I'll save Sasuke-kun. When people heard that, they just shook their heads. They couldn't believe anymore that she had been a ninja, and Iga survived the war they had. When Sakura reached the Ambo with her chakra-reinforced hand, she smiled already. That she knew that no one could withstand that good force according to her. Sakura, take this. When Sakura's fist collided with Kitsune's, a huge explosion of smoke occurred. When the smoke gradually dispersed, they could see a Sakura smiling, but then she changed to one in pain. When she felt that her wrist was shattered. Sakura, my hand is broken, it hurts Sasuke. Kun, help me. Sasuke stayed in that place without doing or saying anything, until the dust expanded, letting the Anbu see as if nothing. With a kick in the chest sent Sakura against a wall, leaving her unconscious. Sasuke, good, because you better not give up, and we save your death. Naruto had turned around. It was up to Hino, who saw him with a smile. He was carried by the Anbu until he reached Rogel. Kitsune, please take care of Inosama for a few moments, and they'd better get away from here. Everyone nodded and left the place, making the civilians and some ninjas follow suit, but they only moved a few meters away. Kitsune knows her Chia, you're going to pay for everything your friends did to Inosama. Sasuke, I'm telling you again, you're ready to die. The board of no longer serves me, maybe I stayed with the blonde. Kitsune, and you think you can take her just like that? You are very wrong. Sasuke, don't talk nonsense, I'm an Uchiha. They should thank me for letting their daughter marry me. Kitsune, blah blah blah, you know. Are you going to stay talking about it or are you going to fight? Sasuke, how dare you, you idiot bastard. You will die today, yes. It will be mine. Kitsune, say what you want. I won't let Inosama get to be with such a disgusting, cocky, arrogant guy like you, Sasuke Uchiha. So Sasuke activated his bloodline, revealing his Sharingan, and in the other eye the Rinnegan. Kitsune, well, now the real fight really starts. Kurama, are you ready, brat? Kitsune bara Naruto, I always was. Sasuke ran with everything to Kitsune, who dodged Lucius' kick with some difficulty, stepped back a few steps to grab his sword. I was somewhat surprised by Lucius' strength. Sasuke, ha ha ha, that's nothing, I'm the most power. Kitsune, don't be an idiot, the stronger he is. Naruto, just think about it. His last fight. You were attacking to kill, and he was holding back to kill you, so don't give me that you are the most powerful Uchiha. Sasuke, upon listening, began to remember on the bridge the fight when they were children. The last one they had in the war. That made Sasuke angry, and without thinking he ran to the without knowing that he had blindly fallen into the provocation. Kitsune, I got you Uchiha, I'll give you a good beating, and who knows, maybe I kept your eyes. Sasuke was closer to Kitsune. When he was about to hit him, he was stabbed by a Kuna, and that was nothing. Only he had explosive seals sending him flying. When the smoke dispersed, you could see a bloody Sasuke, his clothes were torn to shreds, he had burns. His eye was bleeding from using it, although it was useless since he didn't manage to do anything. Kitsune, very well, Sasuke Uchiha, one last blow. If you win I will be your sensei, but if I win, I will stay with your eyes that you say. Everyone was surprised by the words of Lambu, who was with his sword in hand with blood stains. Sasuke is fine, I will accept your proposal. It's an all or nothing. Kitsune, well, everything here are witnesses that Sasuke Uchiha accepted. Sasuke began to do his technique with all the chakra he had left, just as the Uchiha Kitsune began to make seals with his hands ending in a snake. Sasuke Kidori. Kitsune to Kainazuma red lightning. When Kitsune said those words, the sky turned opaque and lightning started to fall. The Ambo stretched his two hands in the air, making both of his hands covered by the red lightning. Kitsune, may the best one win. Sasuke Uchiha. They both came out fired up with everything. When they arrived, their fists collided, causing a big gust of air with the lightning bolts to shoot out, causing some houses to burn, and some civilians to fly out through the gust of air. As the smoke dispersed, two silhouettes could be seen. One was standing, and the other was on her knees. When the smoke cleared, Sasuke Uchiha could be seen standing, and Ambu kneeling. The ninjas and the civilians were smiling, but the smile was erased because they saw that the Ambo had his fist with Sasuke's clashing. But Sasuke was falling. The others didn't understand what happened, but they remembered that the two hands of the Ambu were in lightning. When they saw the left hand of the Ambu that was going through Sasuke's heart, they already knew what had happened. The Uchiha had died in a stupid way as he was overconfident. The Ambo was smiling underneath. From his mask, when he started to hear as if something was breaking, he knew what it was, he started to run. But when he was already far away, the mask broke sighing. He took out a scroll where he took out his other response mask. He left the place without knowing that he was seen by a person. When the Ambo arrived, he saw two churros with their Kune. Kitsune, what are you guys doing? Chunin 1, I will keep the Rinnegan. Chunin 2, and I'll stay with the Sharingan. Kitsune, or you guys won't do that. Chunin 1 and 2, why wouldn't I? Easy Kitsune, they won't because they don't have hands anymore. Hey, I do now. The Ambo came over and took out both of his eyes and put them in a jar. Then he did a Katen jutsu where he burned Luche's body. He also went to Inada, where he removed the only eye she had left. After that, he started talking by making people listen to him. Kitsune, you guys are wondering why I did this, it's very easy. And Natayuga was unfaithful to Naruto Uzumaki with Kiba and Nuzuka. This was saved by Sakura Aruno, Shikamaru Nara, and Sasuke Uchiha. But why not kill the others? It's very easy. They were threatened that if they told Naruto what was going on, they would die. That's why I killed them. Now they have something to tell me. The villagers and ninjas were surprised by what the Ambo said. But his face of astonishment changed to one of hatred that was directed at those who were lying on the verge of death. Civilians kill, they don't deserve to live. Ninjas disgust me long from here. The dying were picked up by two ambus, thus disappearing from the place. Everyone went back to their activities as if nothing had happened. Kitsune went to where the leftover freshmen were. Kitsune, how's Inosama doing? And I'm not very well, and I'm happy because you will kill them. Tenten bara li bara shino, thank you very much. Kitsune, well, it's time to go, take care. Now don't be afraid anymore, I will take care of you from the shadows. Thus he disappeared from the place without leaving any trace. Lee, I'll finally be able to train in peace. Tenten, I will spend more time with my family now. Yes, I won't be able to collect insects without Kiva killing them. And we're not going to eat, it's on me. Everyone left. From the place with a big load released, and with a smile of happiness, as they could now return to their daily activities. It had already been 3 days since what happened in Konoha. This went around the world girl. When they received the news, they were surprised, but in the end they were glad, although they were a little worried about their hero who was not. He was not there at that time, although everything good has something bad. The Ambu was summoned to the council in 3 days, and today those 3 days were fulfilled, where they take us with our Ambu. The one who was waking up got up and went to the shower. He kept remembering what happened after what happened. Same flashback, same. The Ambu was walking calmly, being greeted by civilians. This did not bother him since being Naruto, he was also treated the same. A girl came up with a basket containing 2 ninja tools, a kunai, but this one was special because it was black on the handle, and had the face of an orange fox drawn on it. The sword also had the image of the fox on its handle, but the metal part was with a skull on one side. And the other had his name Kitsune in red, but it was all over when an Ambo appeared. This caused Kitsune to take the girl by the shoulder and put her behind him with his new sword in hand. Kitsune, what is it you want, Ambu-san? Ambu, I'm just here to let you know that you have 1 day left for me to be at the council meeting, Kitsune-sama. Kitsune, don't worry, I'll be there. Now get out before I kill you. Ambu, how aggressive, Kitsune-sama. The Ambu disappeared after saying those words. Kitsune was thinking of a move, but he remembered the papers he stole from Orochimaru, where he had a treaty with the old council, civilians, and the now deceased Danzo. The Ambu also remembered that since Danzo's death, his emotionless Ambu brood were exterminated by him. Kitsune, you're fine today, girl. The girl there is Kitsune Nirasan. My name is Kosuo Kinsu. Kitsune was somewhat thrown off by this girl's words. All he could do was smile under his mask. Kitsune being Kosuo-chan, you better go to your parents. Kosuo, and we will meet again, Nisan. Kitsune, sure, just stay close to your family so nothing happens to you, okay? Kosuo, and see you, Nisan. Kitsune saw the girl perking up, turned around calmly walking, but she had a strange feeling. Kurama boy, you felt it too, didn't you? Kitsune bara Naruto, that's right, it's better to keep an eye on the girl. Kitsune ran across the roofs looking for Kosuo. When he found her, he was surprised that she goes through the red light district of Konoha. Kurama, why was the brat heading to this place? Kitsune bara Naruto, I don't know, but it'll still be better to see what happens. The Ambo short link with his friend, followed the girl until she reached a house. The Ambu had an improved sense of smell, it was able to pick up the smell coming inside the house. Kuramai, that smell. It is. It is. Kitsune is blood, damn, I have to go. The Ambo jumped out of its position and ran. When the girl opened the door, she saw a corpse falling to the ground. Kosuo stood in her place, looking at the person's body. Kosuo, no, Otozen. Kitsune was surprised by what Kosuo said in a movement. He drew his sword and stood in front to block a kuna, and that was going straight to Kosuo. Kosuo ni isn't, my Otozen is dying. Kitsune, where's your bastard mother? The person took off his mask, apparently it was real ninjas. Renegades of Hounen level, the Ambo could sense that there were 6 ninjas, 3 were surrounding him. And for sure the others were with the woman. Kitsune, I must hurry, otherwise the woman will end up getting raped. Kurama, don't hold back, kill them, make him feel the pain. The Ambo closed his eyes calling, he remained silent, and the renegade ninjas took the opportunity to intimidate him. Ninja, better give up, leave me the girl, and you can leave alive. Ninja 2, we are more than you, we will beat you easily, kid. Ninja 3, boss, you can leave me, I want to experiment with your cure. I did not finish as a burst of red chakra, and the place shook, scaring the renegade ninjas who were there. Kitsune, all right, you useless ball, who wants to die first? The bravest. Well, actually, the stupidest one lunged at the Ambo, who just dodged the kick, and with his sword cut off his leg, leaving him on the ground screaming in pain. Kitsune Kosua, cover your ears and close your eyes, don't refute me, do as I say. The girl could not say anything, and paid attention to him because just hearing the man scream made her afraid to turn around. Kitsune, well, who will be the second to fall? Ninja 2, I will avenge my friend, and I will take your head, you bastard. Like the other, he threw himself, only that this one did not wait for Kitsune to move from the place, and with his sword, he cut off both his arms, but it did not stay there with a clean cut. He opened her stomach and took out her intestines. This caused the head of the group to break down and start vomiting uncontrollably. Ninja 1T. I'll kill you, you evil bastard. Kitsune, you know, I've always been told that, and people wake up the next day dead, because it will be. The group leader was scared by what he said, but when he was about to run to Naruto from the sails, pieces of meat began to fall, eyes, until 3 heads fell. The horrified boss. He saw that it was his other 3 subordinates. He was surprised when a clone of the Ambu that had killed one of his companions appeared, as the other kept screaming in pain because of his severed leg. The most certain thing was that it will not last long. The boss, seeing that he had no escape alone, knelt down and began to cry. Boss, please spare my life, I'm begging you, don't kill me, I'm asking you, I have a lot of money, here. The boss handed me a scroll to the Ambo, who grabbed it and opened it. He could see a lot of money, but he was not responding. So the boss looked up, a very big mistake, because the Ambo was in front of him, and with a clean cut it blew his head off. Kitsune put all the bodies together and rest along with the one who was screaming in pain, did a katanjutsu and left them there to burn. Kitsune, you can open your eyes now, Kosua. The girl obeyed and could see her father dead, but on the side she saw her mother who was alive, she had only fainted. Kitsune, come Kosua, let's go home. Kitsune extended her hand to him who grabbed it tightly. Kosua, never leave me alone, brother. Kitsune, I promise, now let's go. Same end flashback, same. Naruto opened his eyes and only smiled as he was able to get Kosua a house and her mother the girl was able to enter the academy. Apparently, his father was an ex-ninja like that. So she also had chakra. Naruto got out of the shower, went straight to his room, put on his ambo set. He was about to grab his old sword, but decided to take his new sword next to his new kune. He left his house, ready to face what was coming, but as always he had something up his sleeve. Kurama, what has he done? Kitsune bara Naruto lol. The Ambo walked in complete peace towards the Okage Tower, getting respectful looks, because the massacre he did with those ninjas was also spread throughout the shinobi world. Kitsune decided to walk, but it was really to piss off the council people, since if he wanted, he could have been there in a few seconds. Same council chamber, same. The Konoha clans, along with the civilians and the Okage advisors, were arriving, but without first bowing respectfully to their leader. They were talking about what had happened these days until a civilian spoke up. Civilian, excuse me, Tsunade-sama, but what time will the Ambo be coming? Tsunade, be patient, it's coming soon. So half an hour passed by this point. The people present were getting angry, and Tsunade was a little nervous because she knew what Naruto bara Kitsune was trying to do. Maybe coming back with Kitsune, maybe he was still walking the streets. The Leaf got bored, jumped up and started running on the roofs. He remembered that if he did not arrive, they would send an Ambo squad. But since he did not want to clean up the blood he was going to spill, the problem was avoided. After a few minutes, he arrived at Tor. He could feel the Tsuna chakra of the clan chiefs, so without further ado, he entered and uploaded the stairs until he reached the door. He could hear voices talking badly about him, so he decided to use his move. The Ambo knocked on the door, and with a pass from the Okage, opened the door. When everyone saw it, some had an angry face for delaying, and others a scared face because of what happened with the newbies. But Shikakunara was another story. She looked like she was being peeled off. Tsunade, Kitsune, please take a seat. The Ambo, without saying anything, walked to an armchair, sat down, and was completely silent as soon as the outburst sat down. He started. Civilian 1 Matello, Tsunade-sama. Civilian 2 is a danger to our village. Tsunade, silence. Civilian 3 killed Sasuke-sama, should be executed. Tsunade, them to shut up. With that last shout from Tsunade, the place was completely silent again. Tsunade, okay, now that we're here, let's start the meeting. Omura is found guilty to Lambukitsune for the latter's death. Koru is also accused of treason for attacking the heirs of clans. Mebuki, what do you have to say? Kitsune mum, as I say without offending you. I'm worth what they tell me. Mebuki, more respect for your superior. Kitsune, don't you dare say it, you bubblegum-haired bastard, I don't remember. I take orders from civilians only from clan chiefs and the Okage. Well, I wouldn't listen to them either. The clan chiefs, like Tsunade, were surprised with Lambaye's behavior, which was strange. Omura, let's vote for those who want their exile from Konoha or their execution. Tsunade was shocked as she couldn't believe what they said as they didn't give her time when speaking. Kitsune, think it over, Nomura. If you execute me, you lose someone powerful, but if you exile me, you will have me as an enemy. The civilians were thinking about what the Ambu had said, who inside was smiling, because if they decided what he was thinking, he would have. I would have a chance to turn them upside down. Omura, we have decided. We will have until tomorrow to think about the pros and cons well. Tsunade may as well withdraw. Mebuki, you won't be in Konoha prison for Ambu's treason yet. Kitsune was about to draw his sword when the team appeared. Kitsune, what is this? Neko, excuse me, Kitsune-senpai. But they are orders, I will say. Kitsune, shut up, don't call me that, you know. I was thinking about asking you out, but I won't do it anymore, and you two disappoint me. Omura, take him to the maximum security prison. When they caught him, and were about to take him away, the Ambo explained. It exploded into smoke. Tsunade shadow clone, but that Kitsune no one will take me anywhere. Tsunade-sama, these papers are the information of all the traitors of the council, as civilians, and their own advisors. They, along with Danzo, contacted Orochimaru to kill Irizen Sarutobi, and make his post remain only then. They would choose Danzo by votes to have the village under their power. Everyone, when they heard what the Ambo said, were surprised and furious at first because important people were lost in the clans, as well as civilians, but they were angry when they found out that these were why Saruto. He died that day. Tsunade, both take them all and prepare them for public execution. Mebuki, but Tsunade-sama, that doesn't explain the death to Sasuke Uchiha and the attack with the other rookies. Kitsune, if there is first the infidelity of Inada Yuga to Naruto Uzumaki with Kiba and Nuzuka. This was saved by Sakura Aruno, Shiku, Kamaru Nara, and Sasuke Uchiha. In addition, Kiba and Nuzuka threatened to kill Inoue Manaka, Chuji Akimichi, Shino Aburame, Rogel and Tenten. Everyone was surprised by what the Ambu said, who did not lie since he showed photos where Kiba appeared with Inada well-dressed. Where they entered the Yuga complex without chutzpah as well. Well, another one where she was lying still with her mouth open, and here she goes on top of her. The Yuga was very angry with his former daughter, that's right. And Nada was no longer anything of the Yuga clan now that she didn't have his eyes. The Inuzuka was also angry, she was going to complain because she attacked her son, but when she saw the reason, she knew very well what she was saying. I had to do. Tsunade, okay, since everything is cleared up, you can leave now. Upon hearing their okage, the Ambus took the civilians and advisors. The clan chiefs were really pissed that he turned his back on Naruto like that. Now that's the good V. Same complex and same Yuga. When Sean's boss came in, he was greeted with a very stupid picture. It was that people attended to Inada as if she were a goddess, because the Ambu had taken away her eyes. The Yuga could feel the chakra of his father without smiling, thinking that the Ambu would be executed. Inada, father, how do you want me to dress for the execution of the bastard Ambu who left me? Blind. Everyone who was there was waiting for the clan chief's response, but they were scared when they saw that emotionless face of their leader. And so Jimata, from this moment you are expelled from the clan. Everyone was shocked by what their leader had said, but they would not judge their leader's decision. Obviously, the only person who came out to defend. Her younger sister. Anab, because he's banishing my sister if the one who has to pay is that Ambu bastard who left her like that. And so I banish her because she did not comply with a clan rule, number 1, to be more exact. Those who were there knew that rule, so they backed up a little bit, and then those looks came some. Disgust, others of hatred. Anab did not know the rule because it had always seemed somewhat stupid to her to read them, since she was the daughter of the clan chief. I know what's wrong with that rule. Yeah, if never flirt with someone else if you are already in a relationship, let's say you Emma. Let's just say that this girl didn't pay attention. Anab started putting the puzzle together on his sister's Ambu because he saw her with Kiva. And because he doesn't see her much with Naruto anymore. And Nata was scared when her sister's hand stopped touching hers. Anab, the worst of all is that you betrayed the love that Naruto-kun always gave you. And Nata, sister, I sniff porfa. Anab, don't ever call me sister again. I would never be a sister to one like you. At that, 3 Yugas appeared. One threw his clothes at him, and the other 2 were waiting for their leader's orders. Now if you can get the trash out of here. Hearing the words, the 2 Yugas dragged Hinata to the gate of the compound where they threw her into the sun. Floor next to his clothes. Cory gives me a Sasuke and cream. The 2 of them turned around and closed the place without Cory speaking first. Cory, don't let her in, she's one. The 2 guards only nodded as they could hear everything that happened in the Yuga complex. Same in Inuzuka complex, same. The matriarch had arrived with a face that showed impure eye. The people just kept silent because when their leader was like this, it was better not to disturb. The Inuzuka was walking to her house when it was opened, and she could see Akiba smiling arrogantly. Kiva, and well mother, how do I get you dressed for tomorrow when I become the clan chief? That smile had not been removed from his face since according to him, he had achieved everything. He managed to take Naruto, his precious and cream. But what filled him with joy the most was that the Ambo would be executed tomorrow along with his celebration as the new clan head. Too bad that wouldn't happen. Soon that was going from this moment, you are exiled from the clan. Grab your stuff and get out. Everyone was shocked as he had expelled his own son. Some thought it was because she didn't want her power taken away. Others thought she had her reasons for this. Anna, what are you doing? I'm doing something that I should have done years ago. Kiva was very angry, but he wanted to kill his mother, so he ran to her and shouted, Kiva, fang on fang. But when Kiva was going to turn, he could see that his dog did not move from his place. Katsum, I really didn't tell you that. When you get kicked out, your partner doesn't take orders anymore. Kiva, you will pay me, I swear. Katsum, haha, maybe a ghost will come. Kiva, what are you saying? Katsum, that's right, get ready to die tomorrow. Mum, on second thought, I won't let you take anything, so go. Kiva left the place very upset, but without first hearing the last words of his ex-mother. Soon, you may be wondering why this stupid guy got banned. Ha ha ha, it's very easy. I'll just say. Rule N26. Everyone hearing that was only surprised and looked at Kiva with hatred and disgust. He knew very well what that rule was, so he left the place without saying anything. Same complex, nothing the same. Shikamaru was standing in front of his father, somewhat uncomfortable because of that cold look. Shikaku was calmly waiting for the moment. So a few minutes passed until Shikaku put on a face of pure anger. Shikaku, Shikamaru. You are banned from the clan, pack up your things and leave. Shikamaru, I didn't do anything, father. Shikaku, don't come at me with such stupid things, you know very well what you've done, so it's better that you leave. Shikamaru cringed at his father's scream. It was the first time she had seen her father so angry, but he was not going to leave without knowing the reason. Shikamaru, tell me why you are expelling me from the clan. His screams could be heard even outside the clan, where everyone had gathered upon hearing that their leader had expelled his son. They also wanted to know what the reason was. Kayuk, apparently, that stupid guy has broken one of the rules. Everyone present was shocked by Kayuk's words. If Shikamaru had broken that rule, there was nothing he could do. Same going back to Shikaku, same. This one had stopped from his place and went to the door. When he opened the door, he could see people. Shikaku, I'll just say this one. Shikamaru just broke one of the rules. Everyone hearing that just left the place as they didn't want to see a scum like him. Shikaku, well, Shikamaru, it's time for you to go. Here, this is a house I was able to get. Shikaku handed a piece of paper to Shikamaru, who was thinking something stupid inside. Shikamaru, ha 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 ha, great, I knew dad couldn't leave me, just need to go get Tamari. Too bad we haven't done anything like I could be with her, bye. Shikamaru took the paper without reading it, left the place first, made sure since he earlier told Sakura, Kiba, and Mata that they would meet in the forest. Aru complex. Wait, there is no such thing, haha. Shikamaru arrived at the place and was able to see his other friends. Akiba was injured. Apparently, some Inuzukas beat him up before he left, and Nata. Needless to say, from what she could see, Shikamaru and Nata had been brutally beaten, but that didn't stop there. Her arm had been broken. But if we talk about the prize, he was taking it. Sakura had tattered clothes. When she found out what happened to her mother, she went to complain to the Okage. That wasn't the bad thing. The bad thing was that he gave her a blow that she obviously dodged. The Okage took it as treason, and an attack called to Andis. That made her suffer. Her Okage gave them permission to have fun with her, so the Andis raped her, sorry, but it's for the best, I think. Shikamaru, hey guys, better let's go to our new house, he said with a smile. His friends just nodded. Kiva, well come on, but where is it? Shikamaru, just follow me, my father bought me this house. The others did not give it importance, so they just walked for a while until they realized that they were being taken to the forest of death. Kiva damn, this is a plot. He did not finish as he fell to the ground by a fireball that he received from an ant. When the others realized, they turned around and could see more than 20 Andis, and they were all commanded by Kitsune. Kitsune, wow, I never thought Shikaku would give you that role. Shikamaru, what are you saying? Kitsune, haha, your dad knew where that role was headed. Shikamaru was surprised by what he said, then it was true, his own father had turned his back on him. Kitsune seal their chakra and take them to jail. No. The rest both nodded and went to do as their captain said. After that, the Ambus left leaving Kitsune. It was only already night, and the top of the tree was like seeing an angel in the stars. Too bad it wasn't like he thought. Kitsune, hehe, this is getting interesting. Maybe I'll stick with the total board, it doesn't have any chest. But if he has a good rear guard, the Ambo jumped into the forest and walked, getting lost in the darkness. It was already daylight in the beautiful village, the birds were singing, the villagers were waiting for the execution on a normal day. Wait for that. That's right, the civilians and the ninjas had already been warned of the execution since early. Everyone was happy that finally those idiots were about to leave with Shinigami. But their joy grew when they found out that their executioner in charge. It would be nothing more nor less than the Ambukitsune, who after this was going to give a very good notice about Naruto. They had already spent a few minutes at the village. He was completely silent when the civilians, counselors, and the 4 rookies were all screaming. Because they were all Mebuki together with his daughter. They had indications of having been raped, as did some civilians next to Inada. Until they broke them, everyone could notice the Fox Fata. That gave them an idea of who he had been, but they didn't care. All in all, they deserved it, but the strange thing was to see the body of the elderly Koru intact. Everyone thought that they had mercy, but that idea of him was when they saw the old woman's stomach. Apparently, their organs had been taken out, the men would have been beaten to exhaustion, as their faces had no shape. After a moment, everyone became silent, and saw Lambu Kitsune, who was entering the villagers and civilians with his blood-stained sword. The focus turned on him, as it seemed Koru had just died. Kitsune, okay, let's get this started. When Kitsune finished speaking, everyone gave a roar of approval. Kitsune, all right, which one will I start with? Everyone saw his action, he looked like a child choosing his toy. Kitsune, well, the chosen one is and kills one step forward. The Ambus took her and put her on her knees with her head down. Kitsune, well, where they wanted. Civilian on the neck, Kitsune-sama. Everyone encouraged the idea of the civilian, who was received by an assent from the Ambu. Kitsune, very well, sweet dreams. Inada-chan. I'm last, he said it in a whisper in Inada's ear, who was scared to find out who Kitsune was. Inada, you are Naru. He couldn't finish when his head rolled on the floor. This was celebrated by everyone who was there. All this was seen by the Jounin, the other newbies, the Okage, and her student Shizune. And so it went on until he arrived with the remaining 3. That's right, they were the beloved Sakura, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Mebuki. Kitsune, hehe. But look who were left if they are the chewing gum Aespalos, who knows how to give a good blowjobs the dog of and the smart one. You know what the Dina is? Shikamaru, because Kitsune, sorry. Shikamaru, we didn't do anything to you because you make us is. Kitsune, you guys didn't do anything to me, but you did hurt Naruto-sama, so I will. They deserve this punishment. Shikamaruna. Naruto-sama. Kitsune, I never told them, I was trained by Naruto-sensei himself, and he left me in charge of the village. Everyone was surprised by what the Ambu had said. If it was true, then it was very strong. Shikamaru, you're lying. Kitsune knows if I would lie, tell me why I can do this. The Ambo extended his hand, where a blue ball started to form. The civilians and ninjas were then surprised if it was true that Naruto had taken another student, since the first was Konohamaru, who was on a mission with his team. Kitsune Rasengan. When they heard the scream, they could see how the Ambu's hand had pierced through Shikamaru's chest, falling dead. Kitsune, you know, I'll save this, I'll only save one person who will be my senseis, so choose while I go to play with my dog. The Ambo approached Kiba, who was taken by surprise, his hands and feet. They had been held down by 2 clones. Kitsune, okay, let's see if you have any man stuff. When he said that, he pulled down his pants, making the Kiba member exposed. Kitsune, hehe. Ha 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 ha. Everyone started laughing because of the size of Kiba's little friend, who was very red and angry. Kitsune, and that's how you call yourself alpha lol. Anyway, this doesn't work for you, so if you don't mind, I'll take it. The Ambu with his sword pierced through his head, causing him to die, and then cut the friend Akiba, grabbing him. Went to the gum hairs. Kitsune, well, they've decided. Mebuki, kill me. Leave her. To her? Kitsune, well, I like that, but first have this. He handed over Kiba and Mebuki's friend with disgust. He ate it, and so his head was separated from his body, causing the execution to end. Kitsune, well, my dear civilians, this is it. Oh, by the way, Mbai, send her to jail. I forgot about Naruto. Sensei sent me a letter saying he would be coming in 3 weeks. With this I retire. Everyone left happy because their hero was going to arrive, so they decided that in these 3 weeks, they would prepare a party for his return to the village. The 3 weeks had already passed. Several things had happened when they found out that the Ambu had contact with Naruto. Letters kept coming telling him to take him to his village. He obviously rejected them, or rather, burned them also with his Ambu team. It was a torment, since the Ambu was somewhat angry because those 3 turned their backs on him. He was now in the office on his knees. Flashback. Kitsune, after disappearing, headed to the Ambu base. I had given him a solo mission. Well, actually it was his last mission, although it wasn't a real one, it was an alibi to leave his post at the beginning. Naruto Bara Kitsune was thinking about leaving a clone to take his place, but in the end he denied it. When he arrived, he went to a room. When he came in, he saw his team. The atmosphere change. He quickly went to his locker, where he kept some things. I don't know if it's like that in the anime, but hey. He opened the locker, and from there took out a travel backpack, where he began to store his things. There you go, some bandages, some swords and his mask. Spare. I hear the voice of his ex-partner. He was the only one who dared to speak. Akuma, I've been walking well, we have a mission. Kitsune. I don't think so. He said it in a cold and emotionless tone. Neko dis. Excuse me. Kitsune, this is my last mission as an Ambu. Evi, but since she's only been with us for a week. Kitsune, this is my mission, also solo. It could take days, weeks, months, and even years. I really don't know. Evi, but what will happen to us? Kitsune is very easy. I talked to the Okage, and I accept now her captain will be Neko. All 3 were surprised. Not only had his captain resigned, so to speak. Now her captain was Neko. They knew that it would be something easier, since they had known each other for 2 years. Kitsune, well, it's time for me to go. He started walking while being seen by the 3 Ambus who were there. Sadly, I knew which one he was. Because of the way he had behaved after everyone, they had turned their backs on him. But her walk was stopped by the voice of the now captain. Neko, what will happen to the village now that you're leaving? Kitsune, Naruto-sensei should be back by now, so there's your answer. With that last, he left the place with his red eyes. Reds that were now transitioning to their normal blues. The flashback ends. The Ambo finished remembering what happened, leaving that aside. I hear the words of Tsunade, the blonde woman with 2 pigtails, with a waist and big breasts. I deviate 5, let's move on. Tsunade, all right, you're done with your job as an Ambu. Now what will you do, Naruto? The young man, hearing the words, took off his mask and let himself see his face on each side of his cheeks. There were 3 stripes, giving a form of whiskers. Naruto, I don't know, but it will be better to go to the door, and people are arriving at the meeting point. Tsunade, your dear cousin, is there. Naruto K. Kareem, but he was not with his team. Tsunade, yes, but they're coming to get revenge for Lucia's death. Naruto, I'll take care of it later. Goodbye. When he spoke, he disappeared into his leafy jutsu, leaving the woman with the word in her mouth. The person were eager Bara to come back to see their hero the holidays. To begin with when he arrived, and they did not have to wait, since a figure began to be seen, and gradually the person. Everyone was amazed at her incredibly serum-like appearance. Her spiky hair had grown a little longer, she grew a little, and her outfit had changed now. He was wearing an ambo pants with a blue shirt, leaving. Seeing her arms and her neck band, this made men give her a sign of approval, and women blush. Naruto hasn't come back. At the end, everyone shouted, and Naruto put on a fake smile. She was grateful that no one noticed, but she stopped at the sight of her cousin, looking at him seriously, let him pass. And he went to celebrate with the others for his return. It was already evening in the village in Silent when the party started. Naruto had to invent a story about why he had left the village. Then they started drinking and eating. There were games, the whole village had fun except for one group. That group was known as Taka. They looked at Naruto seriously, although Karen looked at him with contained hatred. Now we return to the blonde, who had arrived at his apartment drunk, as he had told Kurama not to do anything. Although Kurama did not listen to him. When she came in, she saw a note on her table, she saw it, and it was from her blonde, and no. The letter said he had to leave on a mission. next to Lightenton. The blonde guy went to his room when he turned on the light. He was surprised as there was the Taka group with a serious face. Kurama did not like this, so he accelerated the process as he called it stabilization to the blonde. That's right, Naruto was slowly getting sober again. Naruto Karimchan, how have you been? Angry Karen, tell me why you did it. Naruto, sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Karen, why did you kill Sasuke-kun? Catch him. The others ran towards Naruto, who dodged them without difficulty, knocked them out with his clones that came out of the shadows, and dissipated into smoke. Naruto, seriously, I didn't do anything, it was the Ambukitsune. Karen crying, don't lie to me, you told me you would never lie to me, why ma? You killed Sasuke-kun. Naruto sighed. It's okay, Karen, I'll tell you what happened, sit on my bed. Karen sat on the bed with a serious face and on guard in case her cousin tried to attack. Naruto, very well. Mom, where do I start? I know everything happened when I was leaving the Okage Tower. So Naruto told him everything that had happened since his betrayal and those of his companions, with some exceptions. And something he discovered was that Lucia was going to take over the village and make all the women his, including the Okage. But following Naruto also told him that he and Sakura did not say anything about Hinata and Kiba, just like Shikamaru. The one about how he became Ambu and why he killed them. After telling her all that, she saw how Karen fell to the ground crying. The blonde guy made clones that they took. The unconscious were taken to a room to sleep until morning. Naruto thinking, Kurama, what will I do? I have never dealt with such a woman, and to top it off, she is my cousin. Kurama, make your own, how are you? Naruto thinking, there's Hairball, shut up. Naruto cut off contact with Kurama, who was laughing because of the situation he was in. The blonde won. Naruto sighed, come, Karen-chan, it's better that you sleep. With a nod from Karen, the blonde charged, making Karen sink her face into Naruto's chest with her somewhat red cheeks. The blonde took her to a room, leaving her gently. I could see that Karen had her hands between his neck, making him stay. They will give close and stay watching, in a bad move of Naruto to separate. He slipped and fell on top of Karen, touching his intimacy with hers, but that wasn't the worst thing. The worst thing was when their eyes opened, and they were kissing for some strange reason. Neither of them wanted to separate, so they kept kissing. Naruto asked permission to enter. Then they played a language game. They were separated due to lack of air. They were both blushing. Naruto blushing, I Karen-chan, no. Me. Karen blushing, hey, you look cute because we don't follow. Naruto surprised, did you like me? Karen smiling, since the day you saved me, but my feelings for you I hid them, but now I see that I won't be able to hide it anymore. I love you Naruto Uzumaki. Lemon jump no jutsu. The two of them were sleeping hugging Naruto with a smile and Karen too, only she was awake. Karen thinking, thank you very much for saving me that time, blonde baka. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in this world, I owe you my life. Nah, Naruto-kun. And so he closed his eyes with a warm smile, knowing that from now on new things and changes would be waiting for him in his life. It was already daylight in the village of La Jolla. Today was a free day for the ninjas because they were still at home drinking, or they were not in the village. But we are not interested in our blonde who was sleeping peacefully with a redhead on his happy side. In another room you could see a woman and a girl sleeping, and in another room a boy who was also sleeping that. I was waiting for his V. The first one to get up to start this day was the blonde guy who picked up the woman on the mobile. Naruto, good morning Karen-chan. Karini. Good morning Naruto-kun. Naruto, it's better to get up, you go take a bath. I'll go get the others up, while I send a clone to make breakfast. And with that order the blonde guy came out, not without first depositing a kiss on the forehead of the red-haired redhead, who shot out into the bathroom. Same with the blonde, same. He was walking, so first he decided to go and pick up his younger brother. Naruto came in with a smile, came closer while talking to him, started moving him. Naruto Konohamaru. Get up. Konohamaru, brother, what's the matter? Naruto, it's time for breakfast. Go take a bath, will you? Konohamaru is fine in a few minutes low. So the blonde went leaving Konohamaru, he started walking to the last room, where he entered very carefully. Naruto approached the black-haired woman, stared at her for a few seconds, admiring her beauty, and how tender she looked sleeping. Naruto Kurenai-sensei. It's time to get up. Naruto started to move the woman who started to slowly open her eyes. Kurenai. To Naruto-kun, good morning. Naruto, good morning to you too. I'm just here to tell you that breakfast is ready. Kurena and come down for a few minutes. With a settlement of the blonde, he left, leaving the woman who had a smile. Minus 30 minutes later. The blonde was finishing preparing the table when he started to hear noises. He turned around and saw Kushina, and that she was talking to Karim, while Konohamaru was carrying little Mirai. Naruto, well, it's time for breakfast. There is everything. And so they ate with laughter. The blonde guy was just smiling, because this seemed strange to him after everything that had happened to him. He was returning on his road. Kurama, that's because you belong there, not to the darkness. Naruto, I know, Kurama. I know. The blonde was thinking about what to do next until he came up with something. Naruto, hey, since we have the day off, why don't we have a picnic? Everyone agreed with what Naruto had said. Karen, yes, but first we will go to buy clothes for Konohamaru. Konohamaru and I because. Naruto then. As I tell you. Without bothering you. Kushina, and you look ugly. Naruto, exactly. After getting ready, everyone left the house with a smile, not knowing that they were going to be interrupted by someone. They had already finished shopping for clothes with Omaru. After that, they decided to go to a quiet place without anyone disturbing them. Naruto, well, this place is perfect. Kushina, and well, we'll get everything ready. So the women began to arrange everything happily. Karen, okay, that's it. Naruto, well, it's time to. The blonde man did not finish speaking when he grabbed Konohamaru, who had Mira and in his arm, and moved them from that place. Shortly after, the place exploded. Karen, what happened? Kushina, and no. I know. Q. But you feel very powerful chakras. Naruto, I know those chakras, they are K. I didn't finish because the smoke disappeared, revealing two figures, Naruto Kagaya and Malara. The two girls had tensed over those two names, for they were two very powerful beings. Madara, ha ha ha, hi kid, I didn't tell you before you killed that I would come back anyway. Kagaya, I'm just here to get revenge for sealing me up. Madara rushed towards Naruto with his gumbai, but before he reached Naruto, he was stopped by Akuna, and when Madara looked up, he saw a guy something like Kagaya. So you managed to escape, huh? Kagaya, Amura, my son, you have finally arrived, join me. Amura, ha, you're crazy. I come to defend the earth, together with this child. Naruto, who am I? XD from Ogno. Naruto, but it will be impossible to beat them. Omura, have you heard that saying, everything impossible becomes by possible? Naruto, yes, why? Omura, well, this is the moment. Come here, I'll give you something that will help you to Goromo. He told me this would work for you. Naruto approached Omura, who took out a sphere and inserted it into his chest. Soon after, everything felt that Naruto's chakra reserves shot up, his eyes changed to the legendary Rinnegan, and his hair turned white, and he also had the robes with the horns. Goromo, don't worry, that's a transformation. Now you are half Tsumaki and half Tsuzuki. In short, you are a demigod. Naruto, okay, I'm ready. Girls, please, get out of here. So the women disappeared in a flash on Naruto's part. Omura, all right, I'll take care of Kagaya, and you take care of Madara, got it. Naruto understood. So the four of them got into a combat pose while staring at each other. The clouds turned black, lightning was falling. All this while the four of them were lighting up their chakra. Omura, Naruto now. So the four of them jumped into this epic fight. Thus began the fight to decide the end of the world. The now white-haired was in charge of Madara and Amura of Kagaya. First Naruto and Amura started to gain ground, although it wasn't by far since Madara activated his Menyekyo Sharingan, causing Naruto to fall into an illusion due to an oversight when trying to save a girl and her family, but he got out quickly thanks to Amura. Naruto, damn, we can't destroy the village, he said while dodging a blow from Madara barely, in a quick movement. I think a Rasengan hit him in the chest and sent him flying. Amura, what can we do? He asked while fighting hand-to-hand with Kagaya, but he had to bend down so as not to get his throat cut by the woman's hair. Although he flew out by a blow from Naruto on his rib, if he has the cloud alien at all. Naruto, we have to give blows without stopping, and make them back up to the village gates, once that I will make a Raisin Shuriken. It won't hurt them much because if he threw it with my new power it might destroy the village, but let them. Stunned, once that's done, you'll give me some time to activate the seals. He said in a serious way. He loves stamps? Asked the confused man. Naruto, those seals are right at the place where we sealed Kagaya, and they are very far from the villages. There we will be able to fight without restrictions and unleash all our power, the white guy said. Amura, well, it's time to put what you just said to the test, he said as he lunged at Kagaya and threw punches, without stopping, making the woman back up. But before Kagaya is thrown out of a portal on the outskirts of the village, her targets started to come out. Without more, the now white movie started doing the same as Amura. He kept hitting Madara, who had everything possible to stop. That's how the two managed to get along. Kagaya and Madara with the Zetsus who were waiting for Kagaya's orders, but before he spoke, as Naruto said. He had made the Raisin Shuriken and launched them at them, taking several Zetsus with him. The village had reacted, and its ninjas were already on guard along with the Hokage and the other class leaders who survived the Fourth War. Along with the remaining rookies and the Ambus, along with the old Naruto team. Tsunade, how is it possible that this is happening? The Sannin said something scared. Naruto, don't worry. Everything will be fine, the Uzumaki told the Hokage. Tsunade Naruto. Bara asked, the woman shouted. Naruto himself. But don't worry, this is a transformation like the wise way. But that aside, he said as he saw Kagaya and Madara somewhat stunned by the attack. Omura, all right, it's my turn now, he said as he ran towards them. The blonde sat down on the floor and began to channel chakra, so that the seals reacted to his chakra. The ninjas, without thinking about it, went to fight the Zetsus. But it became difficult for them because more and more they came out of the portal that Kagaya made. Naruto already. The Uzumaki shouted, making Omura give a header. The white guy turned to the clone, who was waiting for his orders, but suddenly the clone took Kurama's eyes. The white guy knew what was going on, so he talked. Naruto cures the white guy. I didn't finish saying his name because he was interrupted. Kurama clone, don't worry, I'll take care of these stupid people. It's been a while since I stretched out my paws. Or well, in this case, I lose. He said as he grabbed a seksu and split it in half. Naruto gave a nod and gave her a smile, but before moving forward, he saw how Yuga was surrounded by 5 sexes. In a quick movement, he killed them and left the place without looking back. Naruto punched Madara in the stomach to embed him in the ground. Omura repeated Naruto's action. Naruto, see you, and please, Kurama wins. The blonde one shouted as the 4 disappeared from everyone's sight. Tsunade, well. It's time to finish them. The woman screamed as her ninjas of more ninjas followed her into battle. Naruto and Amura were in front of Madara. And Kagaya, who was just smiling arrogantly. Amura, you're going to fight Madara, and I'm going to fight Mother, he said as he got into fighting position, just like Naruto. Naruto. It is time to decide the future of our world, he said, as his eyes were on his target, the Uchiha. So the two disappeared and appeared in front of their enemies who were waiting for them. Kagaya managed to defend himself in time, but Madara did not and was sent flying, while Naruto went after him with sword in hand. It's time to put an end to this, Amura said as he lunged at Kagaya. She punched him in the stomach and made him draw blood, and Amura punched her in the face, sending her flying. Same with Naruto, same. Naruto was crashing his sword into Madara's gumbai, but the struggle didn't last long. As Naruto was sent flying by a wave of wind from Madara and the Rinnegan. Naruto, damn, he's still fucking strong, said the white guy now with the Rinnegan activated. He didn't know how much he could take with the Rinnegan after all, he had never used it, but he did know some techniques which were too Seiya. Sasuke used it in war. Naruto, well, let's see Shinra-tensei, he said, but nothing happened for a few seconds. When a big wave pushed Madara further than he threw Naruto. Madara, how is it possible that a brat like you can beat me? I scream, but he saw the Rinnegan in Naruto, but his Rinnegan was different from his. Naruto, my Rinnegan is different from yours, mine is more powerful, he said as he stretched out his hand towards Madara, who felt his body being pulled towards Naruto. Madara, as he could, put his gumbai in the middle, making Naruto dodge him. Madara, I have you Katango Yukamaku. Madara said as a great wall of fire came out against Naruto. Naruto, damn Sutanda, and great no jutsu. The white guy shouted, and a big water shark came straight to the wall of Madara. And when it hit, a big curtain of steam, smoke, whatever you want to call it, rose up. Madara quickly advanced with his gumbai in hand, and Naruto with his Rasengan. Same with Amura, same. Amura was not in good condition. He knew that his mother had become someone ruthless, and only thought about killing and getting back what is hers. But he never thought it would come to this. Amura had several injuries, a broken and useless arm. Kagaya was also not in a good condition, he had blood all over his body, he also had a broken arm. It wasn't good for her to get well now, because maybe Amura would take advantage and do something to her. Amura, because doing all this has been many centuries, and I still don't understand why to do this, Amura said. Trying to buy time for his most powerful technique, Chibaku-tensei. But to do that I needed Naruto. After all, he had his brother's other half. Kagaya, these humans are just stupid. I already told you, I want my chakra back, and I will do even the impossible. I still have to kill my own son, he said as he got into position. Amura knew that her mother had already lost her sanity, and had no choice but to fight. Amura, I wish in Naruto I won the fight. I don't have much time left, he said as his sword reappeared in his hand, which it did. Accompanied as a child and young man. Same with Naruto, same. Naruto was in a bad state, he had his suit in tatters, remaining in pants that looked like. Because of how short they were? What happened is that Madara managed to give him several chakra-reinforced blows, and that the fire reached him, burning his suit and his body. Madara was not in a better state, he was the same as Naruto, only he no longer had his armor. Leaving him in pants and blood all over his body, and with a broken arm, the reason the little brat knew the element would. And also reaches a Rasen Shuriken. The worst thing is that he was low on chakra. The bastard water shark had caught up to him by stealing his chakra. Naruto, it ends here, and now Madara said, the white guy said, while preparing a Rasen Shuriken with all the chakra. All the elements looked like an Odama Rasengan, only with the elements and colored. Madara, we'll see about that, brat, he said as he activated his perfect Susanoo. Naruto is that huge one, he said, seeing the big perfect Susanoo in front of him. Madara scared Naruto. He asked mockingly. Naruto, not a bit, Sem Makuden Shin, that Senju. I screamed as I took a big leap, still with the huge Rasen Shuriken. Naruto Chojo Kabutsu. He said as all the palms turned to Madara, and he was throwing Rasen Shuriken type. Madara, that's all you have, he said, but he was hit by several palms, embedding the Susanoo in the ground. Not Naruto. Not yet. Die, you bastard. I screamed as I took a big leap, and threw the Rasen Shuriken at him. Madara could only see her end, near as her skin was cut by the Rasen Shuriken. Madara, I recognize you, Naruto Uzumaki. I scream as a huge explosion was felt all over the ninja world. Naruto was with a broken arm after all, the Rasen Shuriken was still hurting him. He saw what was left of Madara was the gumbai. His head, apparently the Rasen Shuriken, strayed to the neck. He saw Madara's Rinnegan and quickly took them out. By putting them in a jar and sealed, just like the gumbai. Naruto did not come out well as he fell to the ground due to the wear of chakra and was breathing heavily. Not knowing if he was going to survive or not. Gradually, he began to feel his eyes heavy, and they closed completely. Same way, same way. He was about to give a blow to Kagaya when he felt the chakra of Naruto and Madara explode, and a few seconds later, a big explosion came out, leaving only the chakra of Naruto and Madara to be felt. This made Amura smile, but it did not last long, as he felt Naruto's chakra, which began to decrease little by little. Amura, damn, I must hurry to where is Naruto, he said as he kicked Kagaya's stomach, sending her flying. Amura started running in Naruto's direction, not looking to see if Kagaya was on the ground or standing. Amura, hang in there, Naruto, he said as he sped up as much as he could. Same with Naruto, same. Naruto was slowly opening his eyes in a room where one could only see as if he was in space. He didn't know if the place had an exit. Naruto, great, where am I now? He said in a tired voice as he looked at the place. Hi Naruto, long time no see, said a voice which Naruto knew very well. The little white guy, turning around, saw the person who gave him those magnificent powers and let Goromo Otsutsuki become part of his clan. Naruto, man, where am I? The blonde asked, seeing the person in front of him. Goromo, you're in my world, Naruto. Come said as he saw that Naruto opened his eyes. Naruto, do you mean you live here? He asked, very surprised. Goromo, yes. But that's not the important thing. I want to congratulate you on defeating Madara, Come said. With a smile. Naruto, thank you, but first I want to ask you a question. He said, very doubtful. Goromo, go ahead, you have every right to ask, he said as he saw that Naruto was a little nervous. Naruto, am I dead or alive? He asked while waiting for Goromo's response. Goromo, Naruto. You're dead, he said, and Naruto, hearing those words, felt like a big wave had hit him. Naruto, but Kagaya still needs to be defeated, he said as he watched Goromo to feel. Goromo, you can come back to life, but on one condition, she said while looking at him seriously. Naruto, tell me, I won't put ifs and buts, he said as he looked at Goromo in a serious manner. To Goromo, well, the condition is the same, ninja world, the same. Naruto opened his eyes again and saw a figure. It was Amura who was waking him up. Naruto, I'm fine, let me if I won't vomit on you, he said in a manner. It would be. Amura, thanks to Kami, I thought she had died, she said in a nervous manner. Naruto, and I did it. he said, remembering the condition he put on Goromo. Amura, Naruto, get ready here. He's coming, she said as she watched Kagaya arrive at full speed. Naruto, well, it's time to put this to the test, he said as he ran along. To Amura. Amura, we need to seal it, but we need to weaken it more than it is. She screamed as she dodged a punch from Kagaya and landed one that hit her in the stomach. Naruto, very well, but I need time since I'm not getting used to this great power yet, he said as he dealt a blow to Kagaya, who dodged and hits Naruto. A kick sending him flying. Amura, very well, I will get it, he said as he entered the battle again. Same with Naruto, the same. Naruto stood on a big mountain, which was a bit damaged by the attacks, and started making some stamps. Naruto, all right, here we go, Tenga and Shinsei. He shouted as the place started to turn dark, bringing the attention of Kagaya and Amura. Amura. Great, he said as he punched Kagaya in the stomach, and then another in the back, pinning himself to the ground as Amura left the place. Naruto, Amura-san, run faster, it will catch up with him. I screamed as I watched the meteorite fall with more speed. Amura knew that it was going to be a big explosion, so all she did was do the rotating technique without stopping, while letting out chakra. And the meteorite fell, making a big explosion that shook and was heard in the shinobi world. When it cleared, you could see a big crater, and Kagaya was on the ground without her suit, leaving her completely naked and with blood. I do not know what color the blood is. Amura was on the ground breathing heavily. He had spent a lot of chakra on his technique. Naruto was on his knees while also breathing heavily. Amura, it's time to finish this, he said as he stood up, as did Naruto, who was spitting blood. Naruto, bad damn, I think I'm not well. He smiled, while spitting out the blood that was pooling. Amura, all right, it's now or never, he said as he started to run towards Kagaya. Naruto, I think it was okay to accept Rikudo's condition, he said. While I was running and grinding my teeth to endure the pain I was feeling. Kagaya got up and started running towards the two of them. To finish and decide the ending, Naruto used the multi-clone shadow jutsu, which was with the aim of giving Naruto and Amura the opportunity to seal Kagaya. Naruto, clone Rasengan. He shouted while giving a full Rasengan to Kagaya, who with the jousting managed to give a blow to Naruto, sending him flying and disappearing in a ball of smoke. Love Naruto now. I scream as he appeared at Kagaya's side and stretched out his hand with the moon. Naruto appeared on the other side with the sun in the, and finally the two managed to touch Kagaya with his symbol. Love Naruto now. I screamed while watching Naruto. Naruto Chibukutensei. He shouted as a large figure appeared in the background. Naruto and Amura fell to the ground while watching the sky, which was beautiful. Naruto, did we win? He asked, still looking at the sky. Amura, we won, he said as he saw Naruto raise his hand and give a smile. In that they see that a portal was opened, and from there the Rikudo brother of Amura came out. Old Naruto. We did it, he said while still smiling at her on the floor. Igoromo, I know, I saw it all, and I congratulate you for making it, he said while giving her a smile. Amura, how are the people from Konoha? He asked seeing Igoromo, who nodded. Igoromo won, although there were significant casualties. He said in a serious way. Naruto, who were they? He asked with some fear. Igoromo, to ambus of your team. They died in battle, he said as he saw Naruto staring at him in shock, until some tears started to fall. Old Naruto. Before that, I need to say goodbye to them, he said as he watched Igoromo nod. Igoromo, I'll be waiting for you, go, he said as he disappeared. Amura, I want to thank you for helping me, and I'm still surprised. You have everything to be the new Rikudo. Goodbye Naruto Uzumaki, I hope we meet again, he said as he disappeared. Naruto just nodded, and felt how the power he had obtained was leaving, and he saw that he was blonde again, next to his normal state. He saw that the sun was in his palm, and was surprised since the moon was also now there. Same 3 hours later same. 3 hours had passed since the war Konoha had with the Zetsus. The village was in mourning, because two great ambus had met. Naruto arrived, and saw Yugao who had red eyes. Naruto made sure no one saw him, as he made his way to the Okage Tower. Naruto Tsunade. We managed to beat Kagaya, he said as he saw that she was just nodding. Tsunade, I'm glad in a few minutes, the minute of silence will be given in the whole village. For your two companions Naruto go home, and rest until we call you, he said, while Naruto just nodded until something came to him. Naruto, do you still have it? He asked as he saw Tsunade take out a black box, and it had the Konoha symbol on it. Tsunade, what are you planning to do? He asked while watching Naruto. Naruto, Tsunade, I don't have any more time left. I need to disappear, he said as he saw Tsunade and explained everything that happened in the battle and meets the Rikudo. Tsunade, I understand, Naruto. All right, this is what we will do, he said as Naruto paid attention. The same 30 minutes later, all the villages were gathered at a single point. They saw Tsunade with her hat and Okage cape. There were 2 portraits of the friends. Bara friends of Naruto. Tsunade, we are here because 2 great ninjas have left. We can say that they died for their village. Their children will be proud of everything they have achieved, she said while watching the 2 women who were crying, and with a small lump. Everyone gave a big shout, while chanting the key names of the 2 Ambus fallen in battles, until a huge silence remained. As they saw the strongest Ambu of all, Kitsune had arrived, everyone could see those red eyes, only instead of feeling that big hatred. There was none of that, which seemed strange to them. Kitsune, today I came to say goodbye to my 2 great Andis. I want him to always be remembered as the best. The best of the best, said looking at the photos, while a tear was running, which no one noticed, for obvious reasons. Naruto Bara Kitsune came up, and left a blue rose to each image, while kneeling on the ground, and giving a bow. Blue roses are ideal for any thank you, especially it shows that you can be believed in. They show that you are grateful for a piece of advice or a helping action, for which you thank yourself. Kitsune got up and went to the brides, gave them a bow and a sorry from the Ambo. Kitsune, a big one, has also left today, a very powerful shinobi. Today in his last battle, he saved the shinobi world, giving his life so that the new generation will be the one who keeps the peace. My sensei left today, and Naruto Uzumaki said while everyone was in shock, now that they remembered they had not heard from Naruto. All the women, children, men started shedding tears. They had accepted the boy after many years, and he had earned everyone's respect. The women that Naruto made contact with were just crying. Konohamaru, his student, was still in shock, and started crying like a comfortless child. Naruto Bara Kitsune took out another blue rose, and with the air element, let her roam freely through the ninja world. Everyone in a choir shouted the name of Naruto, who only smiled because he felt happy that he had achieved what he had wanted so much. That they will respect him, and that they will accept him, but above all that they will look up to him. Same in the evening, Kitsune had given letters to all the people with whom he had had contact. Kitsune and Tsunade were on the outskirts of Konoha. Tsunade was only crying while Naruto was hugging her while she had the mask on her waist. A portal opened, in which he appeared to Goromo, and smiled at Tsunade. To Goromo, it's time, Naruto, it's time to go, they need you. He said as he put a hand on her shoulder. Tsunade, go. They need you, they need the #1 knucklehead to surprise people, he said while still tears were running. Naruto just nodded and entered the portal. As it closed, Naruto slowly put on the mask, but this time with his normal eyes. Naruto, goodbye, he said as the portal closed on him. Tsunade, goodbye, Naruto said as he looked at the place where the most powerful ninja was before. Tsunade returned to the tower, remembering her first encounter with Naruto, and smiled. Tsunade, seems like it would have been yesterday, he said as he entered the tower. And that's how the great ninja gave his life, in exchange for one more chance to return to life to save the shinobi world. But not everything is free, Rikudo Zenin I accept, but on one condition. What was the condition after the fight was over? Naruto would be the new guardian of the shinobi world, and for that he had to have experience, and now with the great power. He needed to train to become a good guardian. Naruto Uzumaki and Kitsune were the biggest and most powerful ninjas in the world. They were left as true heroes of the world, said a thick voice as he closed his big book that had Naruto and Lambu Kitsune as the cover. Girl, wow, that was the best story I've ever heard. The girl screamed as she ran into the man's arms. Boy, my sister is right, thanks for telling them, Nakonoa. Ojizan, said the boy with blue eyes and blonde hair. Girl, yes, thank you. And one question, cried the little girl with blue eyes and red hair. Konohamaru, sure, you can tell me, he said, seeing them. Girl, do you know him? He asked, seeing that Konohamaru gave a big smile. Kono Amarusup. He was my sensei Bara brother Bara father, he was everything to me when I was left alone. After all, you two brought up the same thing, he said while watching you. Before one of them spoke, they were called Karen Uzumaki, and the whole family that Naruto made, whether Uzumaki or not Uzumaki. Today was Family Sunday. Karimbajin, it's time for lunch. The woman screamed as the children ran, and pulled Konohamaru Naruto. My brother, look at them, they are your children. I'll do the same thing you did to me. I will give them the warmth of a father, I will be a father, brother, sensei for them, as you once did with me. I am very grateful to you, he thought as they walked down the stairs with a smile, and Konohamaru with a tear running down his cheek. As he remembered Naruto Uzumaki, the person who gave him that warmth of having a family. Damn, I can't do it. A voice shouted at Prox. 15, 16 years old. Come on brother, you can. Another voice of the same age shouted. Try to concentrate, Kai. You've already managed to make the Rasengan, you just need to add that wind element to it. Said a very thick voice to Prox 27 years old. Kai is fine with Omaru-sensei, he said as he took a breather and tried again. Konohamaru, okay now Kase-chan, try to add your fire element to it, he said as he saw the girl nod and start to do so. Konohamaru, alright kids, keep going, don't stop until you have a breakthrough, he said as he watched them. Don't you think you're being too strict with them, Konohamaru Onasan, a woman's voice said. Woman. Konohamaru turned around and saw a young woman with ambu mask, blonde hair and a good figure. Konohamaru, they need it, they knew the risk by wanting me to train them as if we were about to go to war. Barachan, and how's your day going at Ambu? He asked seeing the first daughter of his sensei, who is not. He was there the day he read the Naruto story to the other two, because he was training at Ambu since childhood. For the simple, kill, save and kill, he said with boredom watching his friends. She didn't know it even Kate's, but she was the eldest of Naruto's children by a couple of months. Kon to Maru anyway, how is Kosu? San and his mother. He asked seeing how the young woman was smiling. Bara told me that someone important to her died a long time ago, she plunged into darkness. She told me that it was not until she met a young man she met, with whom she has been in a relationship for 3 years now. Who made her come out of the darkness, she said seeing how Konohamaru saw her. Does Konohamaru and Rishant say so? I asked very confused. Vara, well it must be because there was no trust, but now that we are teacher and student, I don't see the problem for her. She said seeing that Konohamaru nodded. Konohamaru, well guys, it's time to go home, are you coming? I asked as Vara nodded. Same Uzumaki house same. There were Karen Uzumaki and now Ino Uzumaki, although not many knew about it. Bara mom, what are you doing here? He asked as he went to Ino and gave her a hug. And I didn't come to visit your aunt, she said while smiling at him. Kale, that's weird since it doesn't stop much around here, he said looking at his mother. Konohamaru already stopped bothering, he said as everyone laughed. Karen, the food is ready, today is a special date. Today is our savior Naruto Uzumaki's birthday, he said, watching as the children gave a nod. Naruto became a god among men, and to remember him, every day on his birthday, he prayed to him as a thank you. Do Konohamaru want to hear his story again? He asked, watching the three of them nod quickly. And not today is the day, he said seeing Karen and Konohamaru who were nodding. Konohamaru, very well. I will tell you, but with some changes. And so Konohamaru, one of the strongest ninja of this generation, came back. He retold the story of Uzumaki who ascended to God. With Omaru, and that's how their 3 children were born, 2 girls and a boy to be exact. The eldest's name is Vara, the second is called Kai, and the youngest, almost all of them are wearing the Uzumaki, he said. Seeing how the 3 children were in shock. Bara, that means that our Kai father is the K's god of the ninja world. They said in shock at such a revelation. Karen, that's how her father is, at first he had it very difficult, but little by little he started doing everything he did as Ambu. And as Naruto, to stop and take revenge, it wasn't until he achieved his goal. And he got out of Ambu, but before that he met with Hino, and I know this is not a good way to say it but, first he made his wife to Hino, and then to me. He said as he saw how the 3 of them started to cry like when they were children, while the 3 of them were hugging each other, then the other 3 older ones joined them smiling. Konohamaru, that's why he trained them as Naruto's younger brother, my duty, and as a way of gratitude for having given me a family. I'm training and caring for them as my children said while being hugged by the 2 women who were crying. Tsunade Sen, who was a great woman, everyone will remember, said a female voice next to a man. It's time to go, Shizune, the male voice said as the woman felt. Shizune, goodbye sensei, I hope and rest in peace, said the woman as she and her husband left what was once their village, Uzumaki. You could see a man with white hair who was on a throne, while tears ran down his cheeks when he saw that scene. You're doing well, Konohamaru. You're doing great, the man said. He stood up from his throne, watching as more of those things and their leader approached. They had finished with some gods, only some gods, and no gods were standing. Kami, who had been the most careful since, if they killed her they would lose the war, Raijin, Shinigami, Agoromo Otsutsuki. Amura Otsutsuki, Indra Otsutsuki, Asura Otsutsuki, Kushina Uzumaki, Minato Namikaze, Hiraya del Senin. Irizen Sarutobi. Esirama Senju, Tobirama Senju. Nagato Uzumaki. Kami, come on, it's the last battle. You run us, Naruto. We are under your orders, he said as everyone waited for Naruto's warning that he would unleash the end of the war. Naruto, leave me to the one of Athena, that one will pay for them, all because of her, because of her. This war was started all by a bastard and stupid whim to be the best always with those airs of greatness, he said angrily being in his normal state. Igoromo at his command wise said as she saw him. Kurama, well it's time to follow this he said as he started to filter his chakra in Naruto to take out the tempo armor. Naruto attack. I scream, while the gods and non-gods, along with his guards went with everything without backing down and returned to his divine state, which dominated his power, and even there is no one who can equal his power, only his creator Kami-sama. So Naruto and the others went to their last fight without knowing the future if they would win or not. But all they knew was that if they got out of these, they were going to have a good fucking and a good vacation, of course, after seeing new candidates for gods after the death of the others. End of the story. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next theories. The link of the creator of the story will be in the description. That said, see you in the next theory. Bye.